Morning. In the last class, we discussed 8086 pin diagram. Okay. Today's session, next main concept is the physical memory organization of 8086. Physical memory organization of 8086. Here, the address bus width of the 8086 is 20 bit and the data bus width of the 8086 is 16 bit. That means number of data lines 16, number of address lines 20. Okay, so what is the memory address space of the 8086? The memory address space of the 8086 is 2 to the power of 20, 2 to the power of 20, that is equal to 1 MB. Okay, why? Because the number of address lines are 20. The number of addressable locations of the 8086 microprocessor is 2 to the power of 20 bytes of data, that is equal to 1 mega. Total number of locations 1 mega locations. Each location capacity is 1 byte. Here every byte has an address. Okay, the 8086 memory is byte addressable. Every byte has an address. Okay, total 2 to the power of 20 bytes. The address range is 0 to 2 to the power of 20 minus 1. Okay, so here memory segmentation. In the previous sessions, we have seen memory segmentation, that is related to logical organization. Logical organization of memory is nothing but logically the 1 MB memory is divided into segments. The each segment size is 64 KB. The total number of segments are 16. The types of segments: code segment, data segment, extra segment, stack segment. Okay, we have seen that is the logical organization. Is memory segmentation. Dividing the 1 MB memory into segment is nothing but that is the logical memory organization. Now, what about physical memory organization? Here, memory banking. Physically, the 1 MB memory is divided into number of banks, divided into two. Whereas 8086 1 MB memory is divided into two banks, two parts, divided into two parts. Okay, two memory banks. Okay, one is even memory bank, second one is odd memory bank. What is even bank and odd bank? Even addresses are assigned to even bank, odd addresses are assigned to odd bank. So what is the need of memory banking? We'll see. So first of all, see, point is, if you have total 1 MB on one chip, two memory read/write bus cycles are required to access 16-bit data. Whereas 8086 is a 16-bit processor. The data bus width is 16. It can handle at a time 16-bit of data. That means the processor can read or write the data 16-bit of. That means the processor read the 16 bits data from the memory, and also it can write the 16 bits of data into the memory. There are 16 data lines between processor and memory. Okay, if you maintain total 1 MB in a one memory chip, it requires two bus cycles. Why? Because one memory chip at a time the processor can access only one 8-bit data. Only one 8-bit data one is nothing but 1 byte. Okay, if you maintain total 1 MB memory in a single chip is nothing but single bank. Then two memory cycles required to access the 16-bit data. That means 2 bytes of data. Okay, two memory cycles required if you maintain a single chip. If you divide the memory into two parts, then in a single memory cycle, for read or write operation, one memory cycle is enough. One memory cycle is enough. Okay, two memory cycle is nothing but it will take more time. Memory speed is very low. Okay, so if you maintain total 1 MB memory in a single memory chip, to perform read or write operation, it needs two memory cycles without banking. If you maintain banking, the memory is divided into two banks. In a single memory cycle, entire 16 bits of data can be accessed. That is the need of banking. Okay, now we'll see. Yes, the total memory of the 8086 is 1 MB. That is equal to 1 MB is equal to 1024 KB. It can be divided into two parts. 512 KB is the one part and 512 KB is another part. Each bank of size 512 KB. 8086 1 MB memory is divided into two memory banks. Each bank size is 512 KB. Here, what about address lines are A0 to A19. A0 to A19. A0 is the rightmost bit of address lines and A19 is the leftmost bit. Total address lines are 20. What are the address lines? A0, A1, A2 and so on, A19. Okay. If we choose A0 to divide the memory into two parts, if you choose A0 to divide the memory into two parts, here rightmost bit, if the rightmost bit 0 represent even address, the rightmost bit is represent odd address. Please small correction here, odd address. This is not even odd addresses. Okay, if any binary number, rightmost bit is 0, that is even number. The rightmost bit is 1, odd number. Okay, rightmost bit 0, even number. The rightmost bit is 1, odd number. In A0 to A19 20-bit address, A0 is the rightmost bit. So A0 is equal to 0, represent even addresses. If A0 is equal to 1, small correction, not even, odd addresses, okay. So here even bank also called as lower bank. That means lower bytes are 16-bit. 8086 processor can handle at a time 16 bits. 16 bits means nothing but 2 bytes are there. Lower 8 bits are 1 byte, upper 8 bits are second byte. Okay, lower byte. So lower bytes are assigned to even bank. Even bank or lower bank is to store even address data, whereas odd bank is also called as higher bank. Why? Because higher bytes. Out of 16, bit number 8 to 15 is the higher byte. Higher bytes are to store odd addressed data. Okay, is it clear? So the point is the 8086 1 MB memory is divided into two memory banks. One is even bank, one is odd bank. Okay, so to discuss in detail about 8086 memory banking, physical memory organization. First of all, we'll see a small example. What is the need of banking? Why we are going for banking? Let us discuss one example. Later we'll discuss. Next we'll see what is the 8086 physical memory. First we'll see one example. It is not a 8086 microprocessor. Consider one processor. The data bus width is 16. But here the total memory, the memory size is 16 to 8. Total number of locations 16. The size of each location is 8 bit. Is nothing but the entire data, the entire memory is available in a single chip. Total number of locations 16. What are the locations? Addresses of 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on 15. How many address bits required to specify the one of the address out of 16? 4 bits required. That's why 4 zeros, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0 up to 4, 1, 0 to 15. Okay. Here, suppose the process wants to access 16-bit of data at location from location 8. Here the process wants to access a 16-bit of data from 8. 16-bit of data from 8th location, nothing but 8-bit, 1 byte, 8-bit data is available in 8th address. Next higher byte is available in 9th address. Okay. First 8 bits in 8th location, second 8-bit available in 9th location. Here the process wants to access 8th location, 9th location, total 16 bits. Data bus width is 16 bits. Data bus width is the number of data lines. The number of data lines between processor and main memory 16 lines. Okay, so but the memory, the entire memory is organized in a single memory chip. From the one memory chip, at a time the processor can access only 1 byte. This one location is nothing but 1 byte, 8 bits only. Okay, so if here there is no banking. So in this case, 2 memory cycles required. The first memory cycle to access the data, to access the 8-bit data in the 8th location. Okay, the first clock cycle only 8 bits are moving from the 8th location. Even though 16 data lines are there, but we are using only 8 data lines. Why? Because there is no banking. Entire all the memory locations are available in a single memory chip. Okay, is it clear? Now in the next clock cycle, now first clock cycle, whatever the 8-bit in the 8th address, that will be moved to processor. What about remaining 8-bit? To access the remaining 8 bits from the 9th location, it requires one more clock cycle. So the next clock cycle, it moving the remaining 8 bits of data to the processor. Here, what is the problem here? The processor has 16-bit data lines, but we are not utilizing efficiently. For every clock cycle, we are using only 8-bit data. Why? Because all the memory organized in a single memory chip. Here there is no banking concept. So this type of implementation is available in the 8085. 8085 processor data bus width is 8 data lines. Between processor and main memory, 8 data lines are there. So 8085 can handle at a time 8 bit of data. In case of 8085, there is no memory banking concept. Here, what is the solution? 80, for example, in this example, the processor has 16-bit data lines, but it accessing at a time only 8-bit data, 1 byte only from the memory. Why? Because there is no banking, there is no division of memory. So what is the solution? What is the solution? Solution is the memory is divided into, if the memory is divided into 2 memory banks in a single clock cycle, 16-bit data can be accessed from the memory. So we'll see solution. 16 locations. If you divide the 16 locations into two memory banks, one bank contains even addresses, second bank is odd addresses. Observe, what are the even addresses? Total 16 locations, 8 bytes are assigned to even bank, remaining 8 bits are assigned, 8 bytes are assigned to odd bank. What are the even addresses? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. These are the even address are assigned to even bank. Odd address are assigned to odd bank. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. If you observe the addresses, even addresses, the rightmost bit of the even address, all the even addresses is 0. The rightmost bit of the odd addresses is 1. Okay, is it clear? Now copy. So now data is copied to even bank and odd bank. Okay, here 4 bits. What are the 4 bit addresses? A0, A1, A2, A3. Here out of 4 bits, A1, A2, A3 are used to address the memory bank. Only A1, A2, A3 are used to address the memory bank. What is A0? A0 is used to enable the banks. A0 is the chip selector. Here previously instead of one chip we are using 2 chips. We are using 2 chips. The 2 chips are accessing simultaneously. If the processor wants to access 16 bit of data, these 2 chips can be accessed simultaneously if you use memory banking concept. Suppose here what is the address? Is it clear how the 16 locations are divided into 2 memory banks? Even addresses are assigned to even bank, odd addresses are assigned to odd bank. Now coming to next one. So now we'll see. Here A1, A2, A3 are one. Here in this example, the processor wants to access data from the 8th location and 9th location, 8th location and 9th location. If you see A1, A2, A3 bits of the are 100 for location 8th and 9th. If you observe 8th address, what is the 8th address? This is the 8th address. So what is A10, A20, A31? Similarly, in case of 9 also, what is A1? A10, A20, A31. So for 8th location, 9th location, A1, A2, A3 are same. Okay. Suppose the processor wants to access 16 bit of data from the 8th and 9th location, which sends an address 10000. So 10000 is received by the memory banks. So 10000. So here banks are addressed by only A1, A2, A3. What is A1, A2, A3? A1 is 1, A10, A20, A31. In case of 9th location also A10, A20, A31. For the 2 locations, if for the 2 location addresses A1, A2, A3 common. So in a single clock cycle, 8th location is selected, 9th location is selected. 8th location contains 8 bits data, 9th location contains 8 bit data. The 2 bytes are moving simultaneously to the processor. If it is a read operation, if it is write operation, the 2 locations receives the 2 bytes from the processor simultaneously. So that is the advantage of memory banking. If you divide the entire memory into 2 banks in this example, in a single clock cycle, it is possible to access 16 bit data. Whereas in the previous organization, if there is no memory banking, all the 16 bytes are available and all the 16 addresses are available in a single memory chip. In a single memory chip at a time, the processor can access only 1 byte. If you divide the memory into 2 banks, 2 chips, the 2 chips are simultaneously you can access. That is the advantage of memory banking. If you apply the same concept apply to 8086 microprocessor also. In 8086 microprocessor, 1 MB memory is divided into 2 banks, even bank, odd bank. The size of the even bank is 512K. Total locations so 512K, 512 kilo locations. Kilo is nothing but 1 kilo in digital electronics. 1 kilo is equal to 1024. The total addresses in even bank is 512 into 1024 addresses. Even addresses are 512 into 1024. And what about odd bank 512K size? How many addresses 512 into 1024 addresses are assigned to odd bank? So got the point? So same concept is applicable to 8086 microprocessor. So far using this example, we discussed what is the need of memory banking. Okay, now we'll see 8086 memory bank. So in 8086, even address are assigned to even bank, odd address are assigned to odd bank. What are the even addresses? Total number of addresses 2 to the power of 20. Out of 2 to the power of 20 addresses, half of the addresses, that is nothing but 512K address are assigned to even bank, 512K address are assigned to odd bank. Okay, 1 MB is equal to 1024K. 1024K is divided into 512K and 512K. Okay. So what are the even addresses? 0, 2, 4, 8 and so on. The starting address 20-bit address is nothing but in terms of hexadecimal 5 zeros to 4FE. These are the even addresses. What are odd addresses? 1, 3, 5 and so on. Last one 5F, 4F, sorry 5Fs is the last address. Okay. So even address are assigned to even bank, odd address are assigned to odd bank. Here we should not use common chip selector. Here, so A0 is the chip select signal for even bank. BHE bar is the chip select signal for odd bank. In the last session we discussed one of the pin of the 8086 is BHE bar to enable the odd bank, to enable the higher order bus. Okay. So the point is A0 is used to select even bank or lower bank. So A0, if A0 is equal to 0, if A0 is equal to 0, whenever the 20-bit address received by the memory, if A0 is equal to 0, rightmost bit of the address bus is 0, then even bank is selected, even bank is enabled. Okay. BHE is used to select higher bank. BHE bar, if the signal is 0, odd bank is enabled. A00, this is enabled. BHE bar 0, this one is enabled. A00, BHE bar 0, both are zeros, is nothing but even bank is selected, odd bank is selected for the memory access, nothing but at that time the processor wants to access 16-bit data, one from even bank, even addressed data, one from odd bank, that is the odd addressed data. Got the point? Is it clear? So the common chip select signal is not used here. Why? Because the 8086 processor, it can access 8-bit, it can perform 8-bit operations also. So whenever the processor wants to access 8-bit data, at that time it can select either even bank or odd bank. That's why we need to maintain separate chip select signal. That's why A0 is the chip select signal for even bank. If A0 is equal to 0, this one is enabled. If BHE bar is select the odd bank. Okay, got the point? That's why common chip select is not used. Why? Because the processor sometimes it can handle 8 bits data also. To process the 8-bit data, to access the 8-bit data from the memory, we need separate chip select signals. Okay, it select either even bank or odd bank. Suppose if it wants to access 16-bit data, both the banks are selected. What's the point? So because the processor always don't want 16-bit data. Common chip, why the common chip select is not used? Why? Because always CPU cannot access 16-bit data. Sometimes it access 8-bit data also. That's why you need to use separate chip select signals. Okay. That is the need of memory banking. That's why the 8086 1 MB memory is divided into two memory banks. If you take, for example, if you take 32-bit microprocessor, 80486, 80486 is a 32-bit microprocessor. It's nothing but the processor and the main memory is connected using 32 data lines. It handles at a time 32-bit data. So in 486 memory, how many banks in the 80486 memory? 80486 memory is divided into physically how many banks? 4 banks. 4 banks. Why? Because the data bus width is 32-bit. 32-bit is equal to 4 bytes. That's why we need 4 chips. All the 4 chips are accessed simultaneously. First byte from first bank, second byte, third byte, fourth byte. That's why how many banks in the 32-bit processor? 4 memory banks in the memory. If you take nowadays processor or Pentium, nowadays Core i3, i4, i7, they are 64-bit microprocessor. Number of data lines are 64. Those processor, it can access at a time 64-bit of data. So how many banks should be required in latest processors? So, how many banks? 8 banks. 8 banks. So 8 memory chips. If you see the RAM card, total 8 chips are available. That means 8 banks. Whenever the CPU try to access 8-bit data, 64-bit data, all the 8 chips are accessing simultaneously. Is nothing but 64-bit, 1 byte from 1 bank, total 8 banks, 8 into 8, 64-bit data can be handled simultaneously. That is the need of banking. If there is no memory banking, suppose if you maintain all the entire memory in a single chip, suppose if you want to access 64-bit, it requires 8 clock cycles, 8 memory cycles. If you maintain memory banking in a single clock cycle, entire 64-bit data can be moving between processor and main memory. That is the need of banking. So whereas 8086 has two memory banks, one is even bank, odd bank. Even address assigned to even bank, odd address assigned to odd bank. Whenever the 8086 wants to access 16-bit data from the main memory, even bank is selected, odd bank is selected. Okay, so what are the select inputs? A0 to select even address location, a BHE bar to select odd bank. Okay, so from the even bank, the data moving through the lower order data bus. Total data lines are D0 to D15. What is the lower order by to D0 to D7? Okay, so from even bank to processor, the data is transferring through the lower order data bus D0 to D7. Whereas from the odd bank, the data is moving through the D8 to D15 higher order data bus. So BHE bar, bus I enable. This signal enable the higher order bus. What is the higher order bus? D8 to D15. Whereas D0 to D7 lower order byte. What about address lines? A1 to A19 common for even bank and odd bank. Okay. So even for example, the address is first address 0. 0 means 20 zeros. Out of 20 zeros, A0 is also 0. A0 is 0. It's nothing but this one is selected. What about remaining A1 to A19? A1 to A19 is common for 0th location and first location. That's why 0th location and first location from 0th location from the even bank and first location from the odd bank can be selected simultaneously. Got the point? Is it clear? Suppose 2-4. Suppose the processor want to access 16-bit data from second address is 2 and odd bank address is 3. First byte is available, lower bytes are available in the even bank, higher bytes are available in the odd bank. Suppose the processor generated address is 2. So 2 means A0 is 0 in 2. If you take binary number 20-bit binary number 2, what is A0? 0. It's nothing but enable even addresses. So remaining A1 to A19 common for address 2 and address 3. That's why address 2 and address 3 are selected simultaneously. Okay, that's about physical memory organization of 8086. Okay, see different combination based on BHE bar A0, based on BHE bar A0 signal, it accesses the memory banks. Assume the first combination is BHE bar is 1, A0 0. A0 0 is nothing but we discussed A0 0 even bank is enabled. BHE bar 0 odd bank is enabled. Here BHE bar is 1 is nothing but odd bank is not selected, odd bank is disabled. A0 is 0, even bank is selected, even address. The processor wants to access the data from the even address location. So the processor can perform either read or write operation. Read means processor to memory, write means what is read? Read means memory to processor, write means processor to memory. So it perform either read or write a byte from an even address. So even address. What are the data lines are used to transmit the data from the even bank to processor or processor to even bank? What are the data lines are used to D0 to D7? Next combination BHE bar 0 is nothing but higher odd bank is selected. A0 is 1, even bank is disabled. So it perform either read or write a byte from an odd address. Why? Because odd bank is selected. The processor want to access data from the odd addressed location. Okay. So whatever the data in the odd address location that can be moving through the higher order bus D8 to D15. Next combination, if both are zeros, A0 0, BHE bar 0 is nothing but A0 0 is nothing but even bank is selected, BHE bar is 0 is nothing but odd bank is selected. So this combination indicates the processor try to access 16-bit data, entire word, 1 byte from even bank, 1 byte from odd bank. That is 16-bit. That is one word size. One word size in the 8086. The word size that depends on the number of data lines in the processor. So it perform read or write a word. Word is nothing but 16-bit data from an even address. Okay, processor generates even address, but it access even address and the subsequent location. Suppose the address is 2 and next address is 3. It can access the data from the third location also. Okay, is it clear? Next, if the processor generates even address to access the 16-bit data, it requires only one memory cycle. Okay, and one more combination, BHE bar is 1, A not 1. Which one is selected? What is the operation? No operation. Which bank is selected? Either even bank is not selected, and also odd bank also not selected. No operation. No data lines also not selected, disabled. So next combination, if the processor generates odd address, to access the 16-bit data, it requires 2 clock cycles. If the processor generates even address to access the 16-bit data, only 1 clock cycle is enough in this case. If the processor generates odd address, if the processor wants to access the data, first byte from odd address, then it requires two clock cycles. In the first clock cycle, 0 to 1, the first combination 0 to 1. 0 to 1 means it accesses the higher byte. Next clock cycle 1 0 means it accesses the lower byte. Here the point is read/write a word from an odd address. That means word 16-bit starting from odd address. So lower byte in what do you call? 16-bit data is accessing from odd address. Okay, so it requires 2 clock cycles. The point is, if the processor wants to access 16-bit data, if it generates even address, 1 memory cycle is enough to access 16-bit data. If the processor generates odd address to access the 16-bit data, it requires 2 clock cycles. That is so. So if you understand this table, the concept is clear. Okay. So this is the complete diagram. This is the processor. This is the odd banks. That means odd address are assigned to the odd bank. Total 512K odd address are assigned to odd bank, which contains higher bytes in case of 16-bit of data. This is the even bank. That means 2 memory chips. This is the 1 memory chip. This is the 1 memory chip. Even address are assigned to even bank. Odd address are assigned to odd bank. If A0 is equal to 0, this is enabled. The even address bank, the chip is selected to access the data. From one chip at a time, the processor can access only 8-bit data. Okay, these 8 bits are transmitted through the lower byte data bus, D0 to D7. If it is a write operation, the memory bank, even memory bank, receive the data through these 8-bit data lines. If it is read operation, memory to processor. Similarly, BHE bar is equal to 0, this one is selected. Okay, so these are the higher byte, D8 to D15, memory bank 1, memory bank 2. Is it clear? From any bank, the processor can access at a time 8-bit data. If the processor wants to access 16-bit data, even bank, odd bank, both the banks are selecting, and through the 16-bit data lines, the 16-bit data can be transmitted simultaneously. If there is no memory bank, if it is only single memory, the single memory is a single chip, is it possible to access 16-bit data in a single cycle? Not possible. If you divide the 1 MB into 2 banks, then it is possible to access 16-bit data simultaneously. In a single chip at a time, it can access 8-bit data. That's why the 8086 1 MB divided into 2 banks. Why? Because here 16 data lines are there. That's about physical memory organization of 8086. Okay, thank you.